others and extend a hand, not for recognition, but because he believes deeply. When I complain, and I have complained sometimes in exasperation, he responds, Medo, nipa ya mobo. Ya sorry, ya some Methodist. And so what I say, our service to man is service to God. His integrity is not a slogan. It is his creed. It is why I have stood by him through seasons of triumph and through periods of immense trial. My fellow patriots, our country is at a critical juncture. For over 15 years, as a student and teacher of political communication, I have analyzed campaign promises, platforms, and the gap between word and deed. Our nation is now stuck in that gap. We see the consequences. The brilliant graduates without hope. The diligent public servants sidelined. The market women struggling to survive. We are wary of politics as a performance. We are desperate for leadership in action. We do not need more clever message. We need character. We do not need more elaborate promises. We need execution. We need a leader whose private conviction matches his public pledge. A leader who is bold, independent, and proven. I stand before you today, not just as KA's wife, but as someone who has dedicated her professional life to understanding what makes leadership authentic and effective. And I tell you, with my professional expertise and personal conviction, this leader is my husband, Engineer Kwabena Agyepong. He is battle-tested and fiercely principled. He is a visionary, yes, but crucially, he is a doer. He will fight for you. He will not rest until this country he loves so much and so deeply becomes competent, becomes prosperous, and a dignified Ghana we have always dreamed for it to be. It is therefore my greatest pleasure and my deepest duty to introduce to you the man I have loved, respected, and believed in for 30 years, my husband, your servant, and Ghana's next president, Engineer Kwabena Agyepong.
Thank you very much, my life soulmate. Please have your seats. Thank you. Patriots of our great elephant tradition, distinguished guests, fellow countrymen. On the 6th of March, 1957, exactly 5 years before I was born, Ghana became an independent country. And at the old polo grounds, our first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, grabbed the attention of the world with a speech delivered with oratorical flourish. And Nkrumah posited that it was Ghana's duty to show how independent Africa could manage its own affairs. Nearly 7 decades have passed since, and it's imperative to pause, reflect on the extent to which we have been able to achieve the goals we set, and ask ourselves the painful questions. Is this it? Is this it? Is this the Ghana we envisioned? We see the numbers, but even more importantly, we feel the dismal reality. We feel it more especially in the frustration of the youth and the unemployed graduates that we have with no jobs. We feel it in the many manifestations of poverty that are still unacceptable in our beloved motherland. Too many of our citizens are unable to achieve their full potential in life due to the suboptimal systems that we have in our country: education, health, governance, infrastructure management, and many more. Today, we face the wanton existential threat that is galamsey. In summary, we have not created enough hope with our politics. Democracy has not yielded the expected dividend. This certainly is not our destiny. This was not our dream. The dream of our forebears has been clouded. And to repeat for emphasis the unwanted features of our current existence: poor sanitation, high unemployment, galamsey, a chaotic explosion of slum settlements, perilous health care, and a public service struggling under the weight of unbridled politicization, resulting in inequality and indifference. This is not the Ghana our martyrs died for. And that is why I stand before you this afternoon, my countrymen, fully determined to usher in a new dawn to stem the decline. You know my story, my entire life, forged in the furnace of personal trauma, long-standing dedicated service to this party and our country has prepared me for this moment. I have learned at the feet of the giants of our political tradition that leadership is not about entitlement. It's about understanding people, it's about loving people, it's about helping people. And that is the heart of the new dawn. That is the heart of the new dawn. Not because I say so, but because you, the people of Ghana, and my fellow patriots, are ready for it. You are ready for leadership that sees you, that hears you, and fights for you. Leadership forged not in privilege, but in service, in an unbreakable love for our country, Ghana. That is why I offer you not slogans, but a solemn covenant, a 6-point covenant for the national renewal. This is our blueprint to build a competent, prosperous, and dignified Ghana that we were always meant to be. We must be honest with ourselves about the hard work which is required to achieve this. Our party, the NPP, is not in a good place. This party sincerely needs to reunite around a compelling purpose. I need every delegate of the new patriotic party to earnestly consider each fully operationalized plan, how it will benefit the entire country, and on that basis, vote for me, Engineer Kwabena Agyepong, on the 31st of January to lead the great elephant back. Pillar 1, land reform, youth and modernized agriculture. My presidency will launch a comprehensive land reform and transparent compensation framework. We will cut bureaucratic red tape, facilitate land title registration to unlock capital and create personal wealth. This will end the protracted land cases that have choked our court system and release the vast potential trapped in our arable lands. This reform will be twinned with a youth-led environmental stewardship, mobilizing the energy of our young people to reclaim our degraded lands and waters. The goal is simply to transition from subsistence agriculture to a modern, climate-smart agriculture sector where large-scale commercial farming becomes a dignified, wealth-creating profession. We will utilize every acre of this country. We will give our youth the tools to heal our environment and make farming a noble, wealth-creating profession. We would feed ourselves and be able to feed our future. Pillar 2, urban regeneration, rural renewal, and environmental protection. I present this inseparable covenant: enforce compliance of spatial planning regulations, and with it, regenerate our urban spaces and deliver rural renewal. We'll put in place a zero-tolerance policy for indiscipline, corruption, and the blatant flouting of our planning regime, building and environmental laws and regulations. This will be the foundation of our new civilization, a firm foundation to enable a national drive for orderly cities and rural renewal. We shall work, my government will work with built environment professionals who are my colleagues to transform our chaotic urban sprawl into planned, livable cities and revitalize our rural communities with modern amenities to improve livelihoods. It is my firm belief that where discipline creates the space for development, order becomes the precursor for opportunity. Through this plan, we will restore order and beauty to our nation from the chaos of our cities to the neglect of our villages. The era of lawlessness will be over. We will build livable, planned communities where enforcing order and discipline creates job opportunities and paves the way for real development. Pillar 3, fellow countrymen, fiscal discipline and value for money. The waste must end. We will institute ruthless value for money audits in public procurement, rooted in insights from my own engineering background. We shall rationalize government expenditure and make a sacred vow. Complete all existing projects before starting new ones. There shall be no more abandoned hospitals, no more uncompleted roads. We will institutionalize a maintenance culture across public infrastructure, restore fiscal sanity, and rebuild public trust that every city is spent for the benefit of the Ghanaian people and that public money is for public good. Pillar 4, which is very dear to my heart, restore meritocracy and professionalism to the public service. We will restore the dignity and competence of our civil and public services, and I can assure you, with KAA as president, We will give you our nation back its competent heart. And in fact, in our civil and public service, merit will rule again. Promotions will come from hard work, not connection. We will end the cycle of political patronage and build a strong and permanent state institutions of excellence, and that serves only the people of Ghana. We'll move to end the wasteful seminars, retreats, and empower our public servants to get into implementation mode, to serve, and to build an institutional memory that outlives every government. The state machinery will be effectively and efficiently managed by a genuinely downsized government of 19 cabinet ministers, to be assisted by an equal number of deputies, in addition to the 16 in the regions, making up a team of 54. I would undertake stakeholder consultations to introduce a cap of 11 judges on our Supreme Court and abolish the retirement age of 70. This will allow the Supreme Court judges to serve until they are medically unable to perform their functions. I believe this policy will reduce the opportunity to presidents, reduce the opportunity that presidents have to pack the apex court with their favorites, and restore true independence of our judiciary. Pillar 5, our vibrant informal sector, the very soul of our economy, yet it operates in the shadows. We will introduce a simplified national trade license regime to bring the sector into the formal fold. It will be designed to lift our heroes of the hustle into the light, our market traders, our artisans, tireless informal sector. You really are the soul of our economy. We will not punish you with taxes. We will empower you with licenses, protect you with the law, and support you with credit. Your enterprise will be our nation's engine. The goal will be to expand the tax base fairly and replace the harassment of our tradesmen, plumbers, electricians, carpenters, and market traders with support and incentive. Pillar 6, empowering creative arts and reigniting sports. Our soul as a nation finds expression in our arts and sports. We will empower our creatives by fiercely protecting intellectual property, ensuring that they own their own work and repeat their just rewards. I am a firm believer that our artists should own their genius. We will bring the passion back to sports by returning it to the basics, reviving school sports, Coles and juvenile football. And of course, we cannot be the jack of all trades, so I intend to prioritize soccer, athletics, and boxing, whilst not leaving the others unattended. And it's important that we are going to restore that sacred organic link between communities and their football clubs. Sports is about developing talent, promoting enterprise, and national pride. Our athletes will rise again from Coles football, from school sports, to global glory. We shall reignite a passion that unites us, that celebrates our talent, and reminds the whole world of the Ghanaians' indomitable spirit. Countrymen, this is the new dawn agenda. It's a plan born of experience, tempered by sacrifice, and focused on execution. It is the alternative to the tired path that has brought us a demoralized, despondent, and disillusioned population. Today, both as a country and my party, Ghana, we stand at a crossroads. The choice before the MPP is right here, is before us. One path is familiar with you. It leads to more despair, more of the same. That has failed us time and again. The other path I offer is the path of renewal. It is paved with competence, integrity, and hope for the future. I, Engineer Kwabena Agyepong, with a pair of clean hands, a clear conscience, and a heart that beats only for Ghana, offer this second path. I offer you leadership with integrity that will unite our party, reconnect with our base, and earn the trust of the people of Ghana. It is this new dawn that I envision a Ghana that is economically robust and resilient, fiscally responsible, socially cohesive, and fully accountable to our citizens. The time for the new dawn, a new dimension, a new direction, and a new phase is now. And now to my fellow patriots, our delegates, entrusted with the mandate to choose the next president of our beloved country. On January 31st, do not choose just a candidate. Choose values over vanity. Choose principles over patronage. Choose character over chicanery. Choose to believe again. Let's come together, party and people, and build this new Ghana. Let us embrace this covenant and march forward to victory. God bless you all. God bless our homeland Ghana. Forever strong, forever free. Thank you so much. And I do believe this is my covenant with the people of Ghana. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Engineer Kwabena Agyepong. Please, may you take your seat. We'll be ready to take some few questions from the media personalities here. I saw someone coming from the graphic communication. I believe the Despite Media may be here, and Multimedia may be here as well. We've just listened to a man with a vision, Kwabena Agyepong, engineer, the former spokesperson for the former president, His Excellency John Ajay Kufuor. He's been part of the MPP from day one, and today he's doing his best to be nominated or elected as the next presidential candidate for the new Patriotic Party. If you're a media person, you have a question for Engineer Kwabena Agyepong, just put up your hand and I'll come close. Okay.
Good afternoon.
You identify yourself and the media house.
Good afternoon. My name is Emmanuel Bakom Damali. I'm very glad to be here to see my former lecturer, Mrs. Dr. Agyepong was my lecturer back in Ghana Institute of Journalism. So I know her some way, and I'm very happy to see her here and her husband. But my question has to do with some of the issues going on in the party. How do you intend to bring on board all those who are having some issues with executives? You know, as the flag bearer of the NPP, you are going to assume the face of the party. And right now you are having some division, the executives and some others are at loggerhead you wake up and then you see statements, and people are very confused about the things that are ongoing in the party. How do you intend to bring all those people on board? Because their vote will also matter. The wranglings that are going on in the party, how do you intend to unite everybody behind your vision to, if you are to be elected as the president of Ghana?
Thank you very much. I think it's exactly because of your question that I consider myself or my candidature the most viable option for the party. All over the country, people have given me a lot of credit the way I've campaigned without having any caustic words for my colleagues. It's very important that the five of us show respect to one another and then inspire our followers to do same. Unfortunately, I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. There's been some intemperate language that has been used across, you know, and again, in life, there are certain words when you speak it, you can't recall these words. And therefore, it makes it very difficult to reconcile supporters and factions behind these sort of aspirants. And that's why the party people, I have been communicating with them, advising them that if they want somebody who can really, in 2024, when I lost the primaries, supported wholeheartedly candidate Bawumia. So I believe I am one who can unite the party. I'm not saying this because I want to be given the mandate. I think there is no doubt at all that the Ghanaian people are looking for a new dimension, a departure from the status quo that we have been used to for the last 20 years. And mind you, the election results was telling us something. The Ghanaian people and even our own supporters were communicating to us. Over 2 million of our own people did not turn out to vote. And so it summarizes what you have said. I believe the delegates will be well advised to consider KAA as the compromise candidate that can heal the divisions and that can earn the respect of the Ghanaian people and has credibility with the Ghanaian people going into the 2028 elections. And by being even-handed, I think we can bring everybody together. So that is where I see my strength. Thank you very much for that question.
Your name and your media house, please.
My name is Nana Kwesi Kwetia from Metro TV. All right, so many party supporters of NPP believe that you have serious internal divisions, which you rightly said. I would want to find out from you, what do you think is the root cause?
That's an interesting one. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's important that when we are running a political party, there should be equity, there should be harmony, and there should be quiet. And you see, when we are not selective in the way we apply ourselves to how parties are run, it gives everyone comfort. So I believe over the last 10 years, it didn't start today. I mean, we all know the issue that happened many, many years ago. So there has been some deep-seated divisions in the party. That is something we cannot run away from. But we can heal that when we all have goodwill towards each other and when we strive to work together and also regard the party as the most important thing. In this, our tradition these days, at the end of the day, it is the elephant that matters. It is the party that should be supreme, not individuals in the party. Leaders will come and go. Like I said, Dubois was here, he's gone. Kufuor was here, he's gone. Kufuor was here, he's gone. But the MPP still remains. So if all of us recognize that our primary responsibility and our loyalty should be to the elephant, in whatever we do, we ensure there is equity, there's respect for one another, there's language that is acceptable, inspirational to our party, we can heal the divisions and move forward. Thank you.
Anyone with a question to Engineer Kwabena Agyepong? Is there anybody to ask him any question regarding what he said?
With the address.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this case, we'll go back to Engineer Kwabena Agyepong to give us his final remarks and can take leave of him. Engineer, your final remarks.
Well, basically, my remarks are to the delegates. And the election on 31st is not just about electing a leader of the party. It's about the battle for the soul of this tradition. This tradition was formed at a time of extreme difficulty in this country. And it took the sweat, toil, the dedication of our forebears to bring it to this level. And so it is those values that we want to restore. And that is why the theme of my campaign has been going back to our roots. Those noble roots of service, sacrifice, and selflessness. And the fact that we begin to recognize that public service and governance is about going to work for the collective good. That, for me, is important. We stop our individual postures. All of us Ghanaians, not only the politicians, but all of us Ghanaians. Sometimes Ghanaians have become enablers of corruption because people get into political offices and they get surrounded by interests. We need public-hearted people surrounding the leaders and looking them in the eye and giving them the right advice. Because sycophancy and hero worshiping has become a bit of an enterprise and a business in Ghana today. So we like to hero worship our leaders instead of holding their feet to the fire. There should be accountability. And we need to build a new Ghanaian politician. We can criticize objectively without using intemperate language. That is how we need to build our country. And I believe I signify that. My life in the media, in politics, and in my profession has been an embodiment of this. And I hope the delegates on the 31st will remember that our party always believes in hard work, long, dedicated, selfless service. And I believe I've done that for this party, and they will reward me like they did in Tamale in 2014. So that is what I want to say to the Ghanaian people. Thank you very much.
Kwabena Agyepong. Netiri mupo na sem na nisu adi ho ne botai na komapa na nisu adi ho wo ma ne man Ghana ene na manyuko MPP ena odi abetu yenim ene ewie menu de yeti na sopem to hinsi himfo ne delegate once is spoken to great media houses. I believe and hope say omate na omobeye na koma so ade ede amano. Okay. Said the idea Yankopon sha say ni nyame kro na ne de ne wiwie. Ono na odi ade mu nyina kan a isipini sita. Very Reverend Eric Buadum, Superintendent Minister. Ono na yeto nsafere na obebom paya itwato na yade rade ase na yade mpapa mu. Essential, Very Reverend Eric Buadum.
Shall we please be on our feet? If you can sing, please sing along with me. Captain of Israel's host and guide of all who seek the land above, beneath the shadowy abide the cloud of thy protecting love, our strength, thy grace, our rule, thy word, our end, the glory of the by thy own airy spirit led. We shall not in the desert stray.
Well, that race to lead the NPP into the 2028 general election heating up as the various aspirants intensify their campaigns across the regions. Engineer Kwabena Agyepong, who's been wanting to be flag bearer of the NPP since 2007, once again putting himself forward for this election coming up on January 31. He has put forward some policies that he intends to implement if he becomes flag bearer and eventually president of Ghana. He has some 6 pillars. I'll run you through them quickly. He talks about land reforms, and then he also talks about urban regeneration, which is quite needed, especially considering the chaos in our urban areas, especially in Accra, with all the traffic congestion. He's an engineer, so he knows what he's talking about. He also mentions value for money. He says that all existing projects will be completed before government embarks on new projects. Public procurement, he talks about value for money in that aspect as well. Then he says that he is going to restore meritocracy in public service. I mean, the syndrome of who do you know, he intends to do away with that so that people qualified for jobs will get these jobs in the public service. He also mentions that in the informal sector, he intends to introduce a national trade licensing regime to sort of rope in the informal sector into the broader Ghanaian economy. And then finally, he talks about prioritizing sports. And in the sports sector, he talks about football, athletics, and boxing. Of course, he says we cannot be jack of all trades, so he'll focus on these 3 areas to develop the country. Now, in his message to the NPP delegates, he says past leaders of the party have come, served, and gone with dignity. He intends to do so. He's trying to galvanize the party base ahead of that election. It remains to be seen if Engineer Kwabena Agyepong will become flag bearer of the party. He's thought to be a very fine gentleman who will be a good president. That's what many people think. But since 2007, like I mentioned, he's been trying, has not succeeded. A recent poll by Global Info Analytics put him last out of the 5 aspirants. So we wait to see on January 31 if that will change in favor of Engineer Kwabena Agyepong. This is ChannelOne TV. Stay with us here as we build up towards that important NPP flag bearer election. We'll bring you all the updates from the various campaigns and provide you all you need to know as we build up for that poll. I'm Charles Osukumi. Thank you for watching.